Hi Capricorn, just getting ready to do your reading. I did some downloads right before I got started here, and some of the things that are coming through are, I see some of you are setting your intentions. This may have been back from the full moon, I'm not sure, but I see people setting their intentions and um, you know, looking at problem solving. Um, there was something about truth, about speaking your truth, um, following your instincts, finding the true path, something about truth for sure. Um, I also got a little energy of like daydreaming, which is unusual. Not for me because I'm a Pisces, but for Capricorns, it's a little refreshing to see a little bit of daydreaming. And I think that it's just about managing that and allowing yourself to do that, but also, not allowing it to become a distraction, getting caught up in that. Um, the other thing was I kept seeing this bird um, outside, and it was just like a bird that I hadn't seen before, and it was a common bird. It was called I looked it up. It was called the common grackle. Anyways, so I looked up the spiritual meaning because I was like, why do I keep seeing this bird? And it was while I was, trying to prepare for the Capricorn reading. So what it said is that the common grackle, um, it says takes, let me see what it says here. Take courage in letting out any repressed emotions. So take that for what it's worth. That's just some of the things that I got when I was preparing for this reading. So I'm going to take a few oracle cards just to kind of get things going. And if I need to clarify any of the cards, I will. And then I'll do a general spread, just kind of shows either your energy or your situation, and then the surrounding energies that you have. If we need to do clarifiers on those or pull an outcome card, we'll do that. And then I'll close it up with, a little food for thought message. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm using the messages from the guides from James Van Prague, I think it is. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Let's see what cards we have. Let's see. Love is your energy. And hopefully, I know there's a glare on it, but this is the best I could do in this RV that I'm in right now. Next one is be of service. I think we'll take one more. I do say a prayer prior to starting the reading, so I will include that in the description if you want to see, what kind of prayer that I do over the reading prior to starting. And the last one we get is forgive yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and look in the book and just kind of get, whatever they're saying about it. And then maybe we'll take a clarifying card for each just to give it some perspective. So for love is your energy, let me find it in this little book. Oops, wrong page. It says, your soul is energy. The closest word on earth to describe that energy is love. It is your natural state. After your higher self has conferred with its guides before incarnation, the awareness of your divine, loving nature is then filtered through this physical dimension where love is not the natural state. This is why Earth is such a challenging experience. Every soul incarnates here with the best intentions of manifesting the energy of love in all they do. But this dimension is a worthy opponent. Compassion, empathy, and equality can easily be taken over by apathy, indifference, and prejudice. This card is a reminder to tell you that all the challenges life on Earth throws at you can be minimized by exercising the innate power of love within you. Love is the greatest healing force. Okay, so those are kind of long, so I won't read the whole thing for the next few. So be of service. Let me just see. You are here to leave this earth dimension better than how you found it. Seek ways to make your mark. It's not possible to fix all the anguish in the world, but it's imperative that you don't create more. Interesting. Forgive yourself. The guides can't stress enough the importance of forgiveness, either to yourself or another. Carrying the negative energy of guilt as well as the negative energy of resentment back to the spirit world causes unwanted karmic entanglements. Well, that's really an interesting one. Okay, let's see. We'll just take like one card, I think, for each and see how this applies to you. So can we get one card for love is your energy? I'm using, for clarifying, I'm using the Everyday Tarot. One card. Ace of Pentacles. And one card for Be of Service. The Sun. One card for Capricorn for Forgive Yourself. Five of Cups. Oh, let me just show you that. So, Love is your energy, got Ace of Pentacles. Be of Service is the Sun. And Forgive Yourself is the Five of Cups. So for this, I think, so Love is your energy, Ace of Pentacles. So I'm feeling like Capricorns, some of you may be, you may have an opportunity to really show love. Maybe it's with your family. Maybe it's about, I also kind of feel like for some reason that this is about health. And I feel like maybe trying to, not just love people, but kind of bring love into everything that you do is really going to help your health. And I think that goes a long way when you're talking about trying to relieve stress and, stressful situations. Usually when you add love to it, it brings on compassion. It brings, it brings that emotional side of trying to understand where other people are coming from. And this also could be talking about, I had this in a reading I did yesterday, was being able to bring emotional influence to the work that you're doing, especially if you're working from home now because of the quarantine. And you might find that it's a really good addition to what you were already doing when you were operating, say, from the corporate office or wherever you work at. So maybe working from home is giving you that opportunity to bring in love and creativity to it that you didn't really feel before. Okay, so for the next one, be of service and the sun. So when I see the sun, I mean, the sun is considered like the most positive card in the deck. And I feel like it's also about clarity and bringing light to a situation. So I think that maybe there's somebody in your life, or maybe it is just for yourself, but maybe there's somebody that you need to be, that beacon of light for. And especially if we have any light workers in that are watching, I feel like it's almost like we're on high duty right now to really be that positive influence during this time. Okay, so forgive yourself and the Five of Cups. So, I mean, I think this person here in the Five of Cups, they're staring down at like lost love or something that either left them or they, did something to knock those cups over. But I think that it's about forgiving yourself, still moving forward with loving yourself and understanding that there's still two cups behind you. Just turn around. You're not without love. There's love from the divine. There's the love you have for yourself, if nothing else, but I'm sure there's more than that. But for some people, it can be a really lonely place, especially right after things go wrong. So I think that it's just a matter of forgiving yourself. And that's the best way to really move on, is understanding your own part in a situation and how your energies may have kind of added to even your own detriment. But when you learn that lesson, it makes it much easier to forgive yourself. Is like it wasn't all for nothing. There was a reason. There's always a lesson to be learned. And, Five of Cups definitely talks about regret, and regret is one of the most useless things ever. I mean, it just pulls your energy and it doesn't allow you to move forward. So I think those are strong messages, not necessarily in line with what I was getting prior to that, but we'll see I'm just going to put these over here. We'll see what comes out once we pull the cards for your reading. So for the spread, I'm going to use the Enchanted Forest Tarot. And you'll notice that on some of the cards, like they use different names for the different elements and stuff. So, and for the different suits. So I will call them out how they are in the traditional tarot. So just be mindful when you see, if I say, Knight of Swords, and it says, I forget what they're called in here, but I think it would be like the Seeker of Challenges or something. I'm not going to say Seeker of Challenges just because it confuses people. Okay, so Spirit, what situation or energy is Capricorn in right now? Can I have a card for that? So I have, let me just show it to you. This is the Fool card. It's a beautiful card. I was just reading about it for this particular tarot, and all the trees actually have different meanings, and it was pretty interesting, but I won't go into that. So I did get this energy for sure when I was getting ready, just like possibilities, following your instincts, and the little bit of daydreaming. So I think that is actually goes in line with what I was getting before. Let me just turn this a little bit. Okay, and what does Capricorn have going on internally? What does Capricorn have in their subconscious? The Seeker of Boons, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And what we have in your recent past. The Ten of Challenges, which is the Ten of Swords. That's really interesting because the 10, you know, obviously the Ten of Swords comes with a new beginning. So this Fool is the new beginning. And I don't know if I showed this, the Seeker of Boons. So that is like the Knight of Pentacles. What's on Capricorn's mind? Can I have one card for what's on Capricorn's mind? And we have the Seeker of Spells. Here, let me push that up. Oh, let me just show first. I'll get this right eventually. Seeker of Spells, which is the Knight of Wands. So it's kind of like saying you have, you know, your abundance and prosperity in your intuition or what you're going through subconsciously. And then on your mind is you know, your inspiration or what you're passionate about. So what does Capricorn have for their near future? One card. Okay. We have the Green Mother, which is the Empress. It's way far off from most Empress cards, but I really like this deck. It's really pretty and the book is really good. I like it. And the overall energy at the bottom of the deck is the Wide World, which is the World card, which is so funny because when I was reading this, I mean, it shows, you know, that's that same, you know, it's the same, it's like now that they've gone, this is the Fool card and this is the World, so they've gone through the entire journey, but look like there's a whole nother world once they come out of the forest. So it's really beautiful. All right, so let's see. I'm just going to put this overall card right here because we may get an outcome if we need to. All right, so let's start with the Fool card. So the Fool is somebody that, is it focusing? I know it's kind of dark. Sorry about that. So the Fool is really talking about taking a leap of faith, starting a new journey. I think that definitely if your recent past was the Ten of Swords, which was really talking about some type of deep betrayal or, you know, some really harsh truth that just put you in a state of, you know, like near death in a sense. But that cycle is over. That's in your recent past. So that's over and now you're on to start this new journey. And that new journey is going to put you at the Empress state. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, male or female. This is really about, the Empress is someone who is nurturing, fertile, generous. It's really, this card does really represent motherhood, especially this particular one. I mean, she actually has her kid that looks like a little mini her, which I don't know if that signifies anything for any of you. She's very grounded and really about her home and supporting any relationship that she's in. But it's very balanced. So she's in balance with her intuition, but she also has plan of action. Like if she's, I think of the Empress as really being like the Queen of Pentacles, but with much more intuition and, you know, nurturing. So in your subconscious, you're dealing with the Knight of Pentacles, which knights are seekers. They are not the king. They know they have more steps to take. But it's so funny that bird is out there, still out there, the same one I was talking about. He's grabbing little sticks and stuff to go make a nest, or she. Anyhow, it keeps distracting me, and I talked about distractions. So let's get back on track. So the Knight of Pentacles is somebody that's very methodical. It is considered the slowest, moving knight, but they're very practical. But they also understand how to communicate. They can be humorous. So I think that in this situation, it's really about being methodical and taking the steps necessary to manifest this Empress energy that you may be seeking. Okay, in your conscious mind, on your mind, has been more about what you're passionate about. And the Seeker of Spells is the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands can be a little bit flighty, but I mean, there's like bursts of determination to get what they want. It's just that what they want seems to change a lot. So I think that when we were talking about daydreaming, maybe there's a whole lot of considering the possibilities, and then subconsciously you're wanting to make a plan and confirm that before you move forward with whatever you're planning to do. But the overall energy is the World. So the World card is, normally there's I guess there is kind of a circle here, but it's really about completing and reaching that ultimate, mastery of whatever cycle you're going through, and then stepping into, a divine new path. And it really does talk about that you have the protection from the divine, but without really knowing what cycles each of you are going through, I can't speak to it specifically. It's just so funny because the view out my window is very similar to this, but not so green. So I'm just wondering, what is it trying to tell me here? And I think it's talking about jumping into that new journey and not looking back. I think, you can learn so much from the past, but at the same point, you're not going to get anything new unless you move forward into the new. You don't know anything. One of the things that recently there was a tarot reader that was talking about kind of how the mind works, and I'll put a link to his channel in the comments because I really enjoy all the different lessons that he shares. But it's like your mind is only a record of everything you've ever been through. So new things are not going to be in your mind. Like, you don't understand them until you go through them, right? So it's really that Fool energy where you're saying, I'm going to take a leap of faith and know that the divine is going to, create that path for me and get me where I need to go. It doesn't mean that you won't have challenges. It doesn't mean that you won't, have heartache sometimes. But as long as you keep allowing those lessons to then bring you back to your highest good and your life's path, you're going to keep moving forward. So let's get an outcome card and see what's going to happen with Capricorn. The final outcome. Wow. So the final outcome this is called suspension, but it's really the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is really about seeing things from a different perspective and being able to see things I can't say the way the divine does, but seeing it from a different perspective will give you enlightenment. It will give you that God, given knowledge that there's no other way you would receive it. There's things you'll know that you shouldn't, that don't necessarily make sense for you to know. It's something that's been divinely guided. And definitely the Hanged Man looks at things from different perspective and allows the divine to guide him from that point. And so a lot of times it's talking about surrendering, kind of that, what do they say? Let go, let God, or Jesus take the wheel, however you want to look at it. Sometimes you just move forward and you put your protection and the guidance into God's hands and let the divine guide you. And that's how you're going to come out of your comfort zone and you're going to see something new. Okay, so since we're talking about a new path, let's get a divine doors message for Capricorn. One card. Okay, this is a pretty one. Can you see that? Ooh, it's really dark. That's hard to see. That's what the door looks like. And the message is, how funny with this blackbird I keep seeing. Three-eyed raven. As sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news. Prepare for the unexpected. I don't know how you prepare, but put it in God's hands. Let's take one more, just for fun. Okay. See that door? All right. It says, let's see if you can see it. Inner power. By your own command, you brought yourself here. At this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. Yeah, definitely saying, yes, you have inner power, but you have the protection of the divine. And just listen to your intuition. Let God guide you through your intuition. And your path will take you where it needs to take you. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. And please like, share, and subscribe. It's a little thing that you can do. It's free. Little thing that you can do for me, but it means the world to me. And remember that the universe has your back, and so do I. Take care. See you next time.